Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing something strange has happened. Oil is no longer priced in dollars. Global trade is being settled in multiple currencies, and central banks around the world are quietly selling U.S. Treasury bonds. The dollar doesn't collapse overnight. There is no dramatic announcement, but slowly, quietly, the world begins moving away from the currency that has dominated global finance for nearly 80 years. That might sound unrealistic, but the truth is, parts of that shift are already happening, and most people have no idea. For decades, the US dollar has held a position unlike any other currency in modern history. It is the world's reserve currency. That means governments store it in their central banks. Global commodities are priced in it, and international trade relies heavily on it. Around 90% of global foreign exchange transactions involve the dollar, which gives the United States an enormous financial advantage. Because when the world runs on your currency, you gain influence over the global financial system itself. But here's the uncomfortable question many countries are starting to ask. What happens when one country controls the system everyone else depends on? And what happens if that country starts using the system as a political weapon? To understand why some countries are reconsidering the dollar, you have to understand how powerful it really is. The global financial system runs through networks like SWIFT, international banks, and dollar-based settlements. Most global transactions eventually touch the US financial system in some way, which means the United States has something incredibly rare in geopolitics: financial leverage. And over the last 2 decades, that leverage has been used more frequently than ever before. Economic sanctions, access restrictions, frozen assets. The dollar has become more than just a currency. It has become a tool of geopolitical power. The moment that truly changed how many countries view the dollar happened in 2022. When Russia invaded Ukraine, Western governments responded with massive economic sanctions. But one action shocked financial markets. Around $300 billion in Russian central bank reserves were frozen just like that. Russia couldn't access money it had saved for years. For many countries watching around the world, the message was clear. If your reserves are held in dollars, they might not be entirely under your control. And suddenly, governments began asking a new question. Should we depend so heavily on a financial system controlled by another country? And China had already been thinking about this. For years, Beijing has been trying to expand the international role of its own currency, the yuan. Russia began trading energy in rubles and yuan. India started exploring rupee-based trade agreements. Brazil and China signed deals allowing bilateral trade without using dollars. And the BRICS alliance began openly discussing alternatives to the dollar system. None of these moves replace the dollar overnight, but they signal something important. The world is exploring options. However, replacing the dollar is much harder than many people think, because the dollar isn't dominant by accident. It dominates because of trust, stability, and scale. The United States still has the largest economy in the world. U.S. Treasury bonds are considered one of the safest financial assets available, and global investors trust American financial markets more than almost any other system. Even during crises caused by the U.S. economy itself, the world often runs toward the dollar, not away from it. That's what happened during the 2008 financial crisis, and again during the 2020 pandemic. So the real question isn't whether countries are abandoning the dollar tomorrow. They aren't. The real story is slower, more gradual, and much more subtle.
The world isn't replacing the dollar, it's building backup systems, new payment networks, local currency trade agreements, regional financial alliances. Each change is small on its own, but together they slowly reduce global dependence on a single currency. If you zoom out far enough, this isn't the first time the world has gone through something like this. Before the dollar dominated global finance, the British pound held that position. For nearly a century, global trade ran through London's financial system. But after 2 world wars and economic shifts, the pound slowly lost its dominance. It didn't collapse overnight. It faded gradually as the global economy changed. Today, the dollar sits in the position the pound once held, still powerful, still dominant, but increasingly questioned. So here's the real question. Are countries truly leaving the dollar, or are they simply preparing for a future where no single currency controls the global economy? Because the dollar's power has never been based only on economics. It has always been dependent on something much more fragile. Trust. Trust in American institutions. Trust in financial stability. Trust that the system will remain fair and predictable. And trust is something that takes decades to build, but can begin to erode much faster. So what do you think? Will the US dollar remain the center of the global financial system for the next 50 years? Or are we witnessing the beginning of a new monetary era? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to understand how the dollar became the most powerful currency in history, make sure to watch the next video, because the story behind the dollar system is even bigger than most people realize.